All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Think of me as your personal research fellow today, because we are unpacking the newly elevated strategic partnership between India and the Netherlands. Recently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Dutch Prime Minister Rob Jetten met in The Hague to officially upgrade their bilateral relationship. And what emerged from that wasn't just, standard diplomatic handshakes. It's a comprehensive 5-year roadmap running from 2026 to 2030. Today, we're going to break down exactly what is inside this agreement, really zeroing in on the economic, water, and technology initiatives that are completely redefining how these two nations collaborate.
To make this incredibly actionable, I've set this up as a step-by-step implementation guide. We're looking at the Joint Innovation Blueprint, engineering our water future, building the brain bridge, powering green shipping corridors, and finally, a concrete action guide for investors. By the end, you'll see exactly how this roadmap is going to shape our future living standards.
Step 1. The Joint Innovation Blueprint, and specifically securing the capital.
Look, to kick off any massive cross-border venture, you absolutely have to secure the capital and set a vision people can rally behind. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hit the nail on the head when addressing the diaspora in The Hague, stating simply, return on investment will be higher. That's a very direct pitch to European boardrooms and corporate investors, reminding them that India's rapid economic growth guarantees high returns on capital. It perfectly sets the stage for what this entire roadmap is trying to achieve.
So what's the core strategy driven by the Joint Trade and Investment Committee? It's all about combining Dutch expertise with India's speed and skill. For the global economics students tuning in, think of it like this. The Netherlands is kind of like a boutique design studio, right? They have centuries of specialized engineering and high-tech research. India, on the other hand, is the ultimate deployment engine. A massive workforce, rapid scaling capabilities, and huge domestic market size. When you combine the two, you get this unprecedented expansion in innovation and sustainability.
Moving to Step 2, engineering our water future. This is where we lay the critical physical foundation. Before we can even think about advanced tech, we have to engineer disaster-resilient water infrastructure. The Netherlands has already proven this is possible with the historic Opsletdijk Dam. They literally walled off a salty sea gulf with a 32-kilometer dam to create a massive freshwater lake. Now, take that technical expertise and apply it to India's upcoming Kalbastar project, which proposes a dam across the Gulf of Cambay to trap fresh water from 7 rivers. For students, imagine trying to separate a giant bowl of salty soup into pure drinking water, all while holding back the actual ocean. It is an incredible feat of engineering.
And the benefits of this infrastructure are absolutely massive. It directly elevates daily living standards. By trapping that fresh water, the Kalbastar project aims to provide irrigation for a staggering 10 lakh hectares of agricultural land across Saurashtra. Plus, it builds in critical flood management and climate resilience, which fulfills commitments made to the Coalition for Disaster-Resilient Infrastructure.
But here's the crazy part. It all boils down to this number, 60. By building this massive dam and reservoir, they're also creating a direct transport link over the water. The travel distance between South Gujarat and Saurashtra will plummet from 240 kilometers down to just 60 kilometers. Literally just 60. That saves hours of travel, slashes transportation costs for businesses, and completely rewires the regional economy.
Okay, Step 3, building the brain bridge. This is where we wire the technology.
With the physical foundation laid, modern society needs a nervous system, right? And that means advanced semiconductors. This initiative builds a literal brain bridge in 3 distinct steps. First, leading Dutch universities like Eindhoven and Twente partner up. Second, they connect directly with 6 premier Indian technical institutes, like the top IITs and the ISC. And the third step, this is the real kicker, it's fully backed by industry titans. We're talking NXP, ASML, Tata, and CG Semi. So these researchers and students aren't just doing academic exercises. They are working directly on commercially viable semiconductor breakthroughs.
Yeah, for the knowledge institutions and startups listening in, here are your specific action items to capitalize on this tech exchange. You're looking at co-developing artificial intelligence and cybersecurity systems. You're expanding joint R&D in photonics and quantum technology. And hugely important, the roadmap officially connects the Dutch Semicom Competence Center directly to the Indian semiconductor mission. It's perfectly designed to foster STEM education and researcher mobility, which directly supports scale-ups and SMEs. Honestly, it's an absolute goldmine for tech entrepreneurs.
Step 4. Powering green corridors. Because we have to figure out how to fuel all this global trade sustainably.
So how do we power this massive new infrastructure without destroying the planet? Enter the Green and Digital Sea Corridor.
It's an environmentally sustainable, digitally integrated, and economically efficient maritime route between India and the Netherlands. Basically, think of it as an express carpool lane for sustainable global trade. It optimizes logistics so a container going from Mumbai to Rotterdam leaves the absolute smallest carbon footprint possible.
And the clock is ticking. The target year for this is 2030. That is the deadline both nations are working against to massively scale up joint activities in renewable energy. They want to fully integrate domestic production capacities in India with European demand, focusing really heavily on boosting India's green hydrogen exports right along this new maritime route.
To actually hit that 2030 goal, they are pooling resources into very specific renewable energy sectors. We're talking green hydrogen production and export, bioenergy and circular feedstocks, advanced battery storage solutions, and implementing zero-emission transportation in the courts. They're tackling all this through a dedicated joint working group for renewable energy and utilizing major frameworks like the Global Biofuels Alliance and the International Solar Alliance.
Finally, step 5, the action guide for investors. Let's talk about seizing these opportunities.
Let's translate all this diplomacy into a practical business guide. If you're a corporate investor deploying capital between now and 2030, these are the top opportunities the governments are actively de-risking for you. You've got the semiconductor value chain and emerging tech, of course. Then there's the diversification of critical raw materials, which is absolutely vital to secure global supply chains right now. Green hydrogen and maritime infrastructure are huge. Then you have digital health, pharmaceuticals, and combating antimicrobial resistance, or AMR, which involves direct cooperation between their top health research institutes. And let's not forget agritech, specifically co-developing things like clean plant centers. Plus, to make all this smooth, they've set up a fast-track mechanism specifically to facilitate your investments and resolve issues quickly.
So, we've got a massive blueprint spanning from Gujarat's life-saving freshwater reservoirs to advanced semiconductor brain bridges all the way to digital sea corridors. The foundation is laid, the doors are open, and the fast-track mechanisms are officially in place. The only question left for you, the innovators, the researchers, the entrepreneurs watching this explainer, is this: which cross-border project will your startup build first?